Good morning, finance. We are going to go over 4.6, exponential depreciation. So in 4.5, we learned linear depreciation. So that was in 4.5. In this section, we're going to go over exponential depreciation. And our equation can be written in two ways. So y equals a times 1 minus r to the x. Or you can think of this as y equals a times b to the x. Either way, let me just highlight this because that's what this section is on. 1 minus our rate is the same as b. Now in both of these, a is the original purchase amount of your vehicle, and r is the depreciation rate. All right, so we're going to jump on in. So number 1, let me go ahead and zoom in. Tanya's new car sold for $23,856, so that is A. Her online research indicates the car will depreciate exponentially at a rate of 6.38%. So there's R. Write the formula for Tanya's car. So first I need to convert 6 3/8% to a decimal. So if I use my calculator, I need to figure out what 3/8 represents. So 3 divided by 8 gives me 0.375. So 6.375. So as a decimal, that's 0.06375. So y equals, I'm going to use a times 1 minus r to the x, and I'm going to plug in everything we have so far. So y equals, she purchased it for $23,856, 1 minus 0.06375 to the x, and then using our calculators, we're going to enter that and simplify it so it's one number. So 1 minus 0.06375, and I get 0.936. I'm going to go ahead and write it to the hundredths. So 23,856.94 to the x. And so there is our exponential equation. Okay, so I used this to get that. Okay, so next one. So using the screen to the right, so this is from a calculator, and you have like this in your homework. Using this information, write the exponential regression. So I need A and B. So y equals 26092, says nearest tenth, so 0.7, 1 minus 0.8. So they want two things. Oh, I'm sorry. What is the annual depreciation? Not the formula. My bad. Okay, I know that my, this says 0.88. So 1 minus 0.88, I'm going to put 66, would equal my rate, right? Because they have, and I accidentally skipped to 3 instead of 2. What is wrong with me? I'm like skipping all over the place here. Sorry, back to number 2. So this says exponential equation. So I need y equals a times 1 minus b. Sorry, 1 minus r to the x, or y equals a times b to the x. Now notice they use that form. Here's a, here's b. So y equals 43,754. I'm just going to leave it because this is 0.00 times b, so 0.82 to the x. That's it. So I didn't need this form because they gave me a and b. All right, next, what is the annual depreciation percentage? So 1 minus this, so 1 minus 0.88 gives me a rate of 11.3. Or sorry, well, actually, when I entered it in my calculator, I got 0.113. So 11.3% because it said round your answer to the nearest 10th percent. So that's tenths and that's a percent. Next one. Sharon purchased a used car for $24,000. The car depreciates exponentially 8% per year. How much will it be worth after 5 years? First, let's set up our formula. Y equals the amount we spent times 1 minus our percent to the x. So I'm going to simplify this, and then I'm going to plug in 5 for x. So y equals 24,600. 1 minus 0.08 is 0.92 cents to the 5th power. And then you're simply going to enter that in your calculator. 24,000, 0.92 to the 5th. And I got 15,817, and it says to the nearest penny, so 96 cents. Next one. Again, use this for your homework because I'm trying to do one of each. Brad purchased a 5-year-old car. So I know that x equals 5. It sold for 24, so I know A equals 24,000. Find the depreciation rate. So we need to find R. So let's set up what we have. Right now, it's worth $14,200. It was purchased for $24,000. We don't know R, but I do know it's been 5 years. So first thing I'm going to do here is to get R by itself. So I have to divide by the coefficient out front. So I'm dividing both sides by 24,000. So I have 14 divided by the 24. And I got 0.5917 equals 1 minus R to the 5th power. Now the only way I can get rid of the 5th power is by raising both sides by the reciprocal, which would be 1/5. So on the right, these cancel. 0.5917 to the 1 divided by 5. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite. I now have 0.90 equals 1 minus R. So $1 minus what gives us 90 cents? R is 0.10 or 10%. Number 6. Number 6 says Lyle's new car cost him $28,000. He was told that this make and model depreciates exponentially, which is much more common because exponentially means like the more it's worth, the more you lose, and as that value decreases, the less it is depreciating. So I have A equals 28,000. R equals 0.115. 57 months needs to be converted to years. So I'm dividing by 12, and that gives me 4.75 years. So it asks, how much will it be worth in 57 months? So Y equals our starting price times 1 minus our rate to the amount of time that has passed by. So I'm simply going to enter what is on the right. So let me move that up. 28,000 times, I'm going to put this in parentheses, 1 minus 0.115 to the 4.75. And I get $15,672.51. And I'm going to use a dollar sign because this represents the worth of the car. And apologize for the fact that my phone is ringing. All right, next one. Number 7. Gina bought a used car for $80 B years ago. So let's start with A would equal C times 1 minus R B years. And it said express the depreciation rate in terms of A, B, and C. So I've expressed it in terms of A. Now let's get B by it, or C by itself. So I would have C would equal A divided by 1 minus R to the B. If I wanted to get B by itself, I would have 1 over C equals 1 minus R to the B. I don't know what happened to my computer, but apparently we're still recording. Woo! To the 1B. Sorry. No, that's not a good way to solve this. As you can see, I didn't do this earlier. And I don't think this is a type of problem on your homework, but just in case, B would equal the log of A over C divided by the log of 1 minus R. I don't think it'll ask you for anything that complicated, but what do I know? Number 8. All right, so my rate is 8.5%. It's 4 years old, so far we know that X is 4 years. And at 4 years, it was worth $17.50. So what was the original price? So they're looking for find A. So right now, it's worth $17,500. I don't know what it was originally purchased for, 1 minus 0.085, but I know that 4 years have gone by. So notice so far I've plugged in what it's worth right now. I don't know what it was originally worth, or the amount it was purchased for originally, 1 minus my rate to the 4th. So I'm going to simplify this part here in my calculator. So 1 minus 0.085 to the 4th, and I got 0.7 times A, and then I'm going to divide by 0.7. And I get 17,500 divided by 0.7. The original value was $25,000. Next one. Number 9. They bought a used car for $22,800. When this car was new, it sold for $30,000. Here's my rate. Approximately how old? So I'm looking for X because X represents the number of years. So it's worth $22,800 right now. It was originally purchased for $30,000. 1 minus my rate as a percentage to the X. And maybe that's something I should write on here. X equals the number of years. So back to our problem. I'm going to divide both sides by 30,000 because I'm solving for X. So 22,800 divided by 30,000 is 0.76. I'm going to enter this in my calculator so I can simplify it, and I got 0.91 to the X. Now, this is review of sections earlier. If I have an exponential equation, I'm going to take the log of both sides. So the log of 0.76 equals, I get to bring that X in front, the log of 0.91. And then to solve for X, I would divide both sides by the log of 0.91. And if you enter it like that, I got 2.84 years. Next, I'm going to skip number 10, and I'm going to do the next one on paper. So number 11, or actually this would be number 10. So number 10, here is the values of this car. Hopefully I wrote that correctly. 14401. 1. Sorry. All right. So part A, if original price was $21,000, what was the depreciation rate? So to find the depreciation rate, I simply can subtract the two, or if it was linear. But because it's exponential, I'm going to divide. So 1910 divided by 21,000, or I could do 17,390 divided by 1910. You simply divide one number by the previous, and they should all equal the same rate. So if I was to enter any of these, 1910 divided by 21,000, and I get 0.91 for all of these. So 1 minus 0.91 equals 0.09, so 9%. You have two of these on your homework, so take the second number divided by the first. Part B, what will the car be worth in 7 years? Well, here's my equation. I originally purchased it for $21,000. I already know it was my rate is 0.91 to the x, but we're substituting in 7. So y equals 21,000, 0.91 to the 7th power. So 21,000, parentheses, 0.91 to the 7th. And I get 10,851.98. You have two like that on your homework. And that is the end.